Okay, so hopefully sum and product, all we're looking there for is a connection, and the only reason I'm addressing it is because it's part of the stage 1 curriculum outline. It's not part of the stage 2 course. It's not something we've looked at in stage 2 at all in year 12 methods. So it's not heaps important for us to go over that part. Quadratic formula is, hopefully you remember this from last year, this is an absolutely gorgeous formula. And what we've done is we've looked at 3 ways we can solve quadratics, right? So we've looked at just factorizing, okay, using the cross method. We've looked at completing the square, so that's the second way. And now we're looking at using quadratic formula. 3 ways we can solve roots. And this one's great because you don't even have to think about it. You just put the numbers in and crunch it, okay? So this can be a really effective way. And then after this, I'm going to show you how we can use our calculators as well. So what we're going to do here is we need to identify the values of A, B, and C, and then we just substitute them straight into this formula. And this is the formula. It might look complex to you now, but this is one you'll know off by heart by the time you finish year 11 methods, hopefully, because it's something that keeps popping up. So let's see. We've got A is 1, B is 1, C is minus 5. So you need to carry, if it's got a positive or a negative with it, you need to keep that with the number. All right, and let's put it in. I've got X is equal to minus B. So that's going to be minus 1 plus or minus. Okay, that's suggesting there's 2 possible roots, right? And then it's the square root of B squared. Take 4 times A times C. Okay, all on top of 2 times the value of A. So you don't even have to think, right? You just take the numbers, you plug them in, and we just keep processing that. So we're going to have here minus 1 plus or minus the square root of 1. Now here I've got minus 4 times 1 times minus 5. That's going to become positive 20. All right, because we have the 2 negatives multiplying each other, make it positive. So in the root there we have 1 plus 20. All right, I'll bring that up here. Minus 1 plus or minus the square root of 21 divided by 2. Now these roots here are what we call irrational roots. Irrational because they have an infinite number of decimal places. It's going to keep going forever. So the roots are, we have minus 1 plus root 21 on 2, or minus 1 take root 21 on 2. All right, that's what the plus or minus means. It means there's two possible options. And so you take this number, and if you put it into this quadratic, it's going to make the left-hand side equal the right-hand side, right? That is the root. That's the value that makes it equal to 0. Okay, we'll move on to B. We've got A is 7, B is minus 5, C is 1. Okay, so step 1, just put the numbers in. Okay, so there's one thing I really want to point out here. B is negative, and the formula says negative B. So that means we're going to have negative 5. All right, so that's going to become positive 5 when we keep evaluating it. Plus or minus the square root of, it says B squared. So minus 5 squared is positive 25. And then we've got take 4 times 7 times 1. Take away 28 on top of 14. say we've got a problem. It's a negative. We can't square root a negative, which means this quadratic has no solutions. No solutions. There are no values of x that make the left-hand side equal to 0. All right, there are no solutions because we have this square root of a negative. As to how that looks on a graph and so forth, that's going to pop up a bit later. But anytime we have the square root of a negative, no solutions. Over here we had irrational solutions, right? Let's have a look at C. C is going to require a little bit of work to start with. If you look at the process I've written at the top there, we've got to put everything on the left-hand side, collect all the like terms, identify A, B, and C, and then process it. So before we can substitute it in, we need to manipulate this. All right. So what I'm going to do first is perfect square expansion of the left-hand side. So perfect square expansion, hopefully we're getting pretty good at it now. X plus 1 squared expands to this. Okay. I'll do it in a couple of steps. Okay, then we've got this negative x squared here, so we want to move all of those things over to the left-hand side. So I'm going to plus x squared to both sides. All right, so if I plus x squared, that's going to give me 2x squared over here. And I'm going to take away 3 from both sides. I'll write up those operations in a different color. So I'm going plus x squared to both sides, and I'm going to take 3. All right, so then that's what that evaluates to. Okay, so we've got A is 2, B is 2, C is minus 2. All right, we're ready to apply the quadratic formula. Lots of 2's going on there. All right, so the roots then, minus 10 plus root, minus 2 plus root 12 on 4, and minus 2 take root 12 on 4. We'll give you full marks there. Cool, so that's quadratic formula. Yeah, let's have a go at some of those questions, that exercise there, 2A.3.